NiP have had more experience and more time to get their game in. It's a question of whether Astralis are going to be in shape here going into it.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the third quarterfinals coming up, Astralis and NIP. Let's get this on the road. It's NIP starting on the T side and Astralis on the CT side. A device, cheeky shot coming out as he's running, but so far he hasn't really done much. And NIP, they're just speeding up through middle. They're not even going to slow down. Running all the way to quad, devices alone holding. He's going to get immediately run over. The Glock train coming right for him, and Kjaerbye missing a lot of shots. Dupree luckily landing a couple of headshots in the background. And Kjaerbye goes down, and suddenly it's a 2-on-2. No slowdown for NIP. The bomb is going to be planted here, and Astralis need the retake.
They need to get control, however. Not sure if they heard the steps mid, but they certainly should have. They were close enough on the site to hear where the man is coming from on short, but they have to worry about the crossfire. Xyp9x and Glaive still here, and there's going to be a wrap coming around. They're trying to hold out on the site here, NiP, to get that crossfire going, but it's not working. They have to hit some shots.
What the hell is going on? Why is no one dying? They're boxed in and somehow still staying alive. Glaive will get the kill, and that leaves Python. He goes down. Exist with a double. That might have been one of the ugliest 2v2s I've seen in a very long time.
There was a lot of ugly there.
Pith was reloading as they were shooting him in the back, and somehow he just stayed alive for an extra 5 or 7 seconds. But good news for Astralis. I love the speed from NIP, you know. They pick Inferno. I think this should be their style. You know, Chad has been mentioning it for a while. They play a bit too rigid when it comes to the strats, and maybe this is it. Obviously, that double kill for Dupree, not bad.
All you have to do if you're NiP at this point is just show no fear. You know you're the underdog coming into this match. You need to just rush at Astralis and try and destabilize them early. Look at Kjaerbye, you know, don't think that we would see him be that sloppy getting into a pistol fight and not finding the headshot right. An entire mag used by him with nothing done and very little impact from him, in fact, in that round, right? So there is going to be some shakiness here from Astralis, but not from Device. Device is the king of performing, basically. Day in, day out, you know what to expect from him.
The very bold move here from Astralis, just rushing down. We've seen that fail in the past, but obviously when it works, you get so much mid-control out of it and so much map control in general. The T's get stuck somewhere up in apartments as they are right now. They don't have any armor, and obviously they're going to be buying AKs in the upcoming round, so I am not too worried for NIP in this round. They got the kill, they got the UMP. It'd be great if they could pick one up with that one.
Not a huge loss for Astralis, though. You just lost a UMP. It's not the end of the world if you're them. All you have to do is fall back onto the site and exactly hold these angles. This is a perfect spot here for Glaive. As they come around the corner, he's going to be able to hold 2 angles simultaneously, and they just run right into the damage. NIP, Get Right and Exist, the last 2 alive, and Get Right, perfect timing, gets revenge. Gets the headshot with the P250 on Glaive, but still a 1v3.
Ah, the pain of shuffling your weapons as you're trying to look for the entry there. It will be Exist going down to the grenade of Kjaerbye, and Astralis picking up a second round, but losing more than they needed to, really.
They lost 2 UMPs. They saved the M4s. That's what matters, right? So Astralis, they shouldn't be feeling too bad. It's still going to be a very powerful buy for them going into the 3rd round here. They're going to have all their nades. They aren't skimping on the kits either. They really aren't leaving much up to chance here, Astralis. Whereas NIP, because of the bomb plan and the pistol round, they have the money for the AKs, and they actually have a fairly decent nade count.
Yeah, they're not doing too badly either. And Astralis' economy is not great after this buy. Just losing the Kevlar, having to rebuy the grenades, it's still pretty expensive, so gotta be careful with that. Bottom banana control coming in for Astralis over on the other side, at least early on. Something that was very popular in the previous version of Inferno. Now it seems almost everyone is just holding top banana for the majority of the time. And with apartments, oh, is it going to be a flash in from Exist? This could land right on Dupree. This could be very good entry. Exist, there's the flash Dupree. He can't see a single thing, and now they're down in pit, but spray comes in. Kjaerbye takes 1, Dupree goes down in return. Kjaerbye still alive by the hay cart, and are they finally going to find him? Device there with a perfect timing, saving Kjaerbye, turns around, and very nearly gets the kill on Exist, who turns it into a double. There's still a minute left here for this 2v2.
Yep, there's the timing. Exist needs to get onto the site and get the bomb plant. I mean, ASAP. Has to happen right now. He does have support from Python Pit, and that fresh smoke going up, but Astralis are just going to double up. They know that they've tagged these guys. They know that they're stuck on the site, that they have no room to maneuver with. So long as Astralis get that buddy system going.
Oh, they gotta be careful. Glaive has a smoke. If he puts it down the wrong way here, Pyth could use it against them. So very, very tricky that they don't mess this one up. Bomb is down. Exist is very low on health. Pyth goes down. Glaive comes in with the frag, and that leaves Exist in an almost unwinnable position here. Trapped in the corner with just 12 health, and any bullet here will take him down, and they know exactly where he is as well. He still gets the spray, taking down Sip. Somehow it's a one-on-one. Glaive is on the other side, and Exist, he can't make it work this time. He is going to go down. They will have enough time for the defuse as well with that defuse kit, but that got a lot closer than it needed to be. And for NIP, you know, they get the bomb plant, they're down to a 1-on-1. I would buy in this round. I would definitely buy in this round.
Go for the full force.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Exist, he has money for an AK Kevlar. The rest of them, it's going to be a skimp sort of situation for him, but Freiburg invests in Kevlar P250, but I think this is going to be more of a half-buy situation. Exist with the hero AK, he'll go ahead and invest the money, but everybody else is going to kind of drop their bank down to around $2,000 so that they can buy up in the next round. So NIP kind of looking for the long game here. They're going to give Astralis a chance to breathe.
Nice flick from Device. Did have the perfect angle. Forrest going to pick up the fallen AK, and Astralis 3 rounds. Not exactly 3 overwhelmingly confident rounds, I would say, but 3 nonetheless. It does hurt their grenade count. It does obviously hurt their economy. And as long as NIP keep the pressure up here, any of these rounds could force the eco on the Astralis side and bring NIP back in the game.
I like to see the boost. Now Glaive's got a little bit of an angle. He's going to be watching exactly. He's going to try and dodge. Any of the nades coming up, he'll be ready for it. And there's 2 layers of defense now at top Banana if NIP elect to go B. They haven't gone there yet. It's been nothing but A here to start off the round. And so Astralis now, they're just waiting to see when NIP are going to change it up. And it's looking like now's the time, Anders, because they're coming right around the corner. They line it up, and that AK catches Glaive off guard.
A lot of damage returned to Pith and Forrest, though. That's a problem. 50 seconds on the clock here. I think it's going to be very hard for NIP to get onto a bomb site now, unless they can get a really great entry, either B or mid. They still have time to rotate back. It's one of the really fun features of Inferno is how quick you can get from Banana to A mid, and let's see if NIP are going to try and utilize that.
35 seconds left. It looks like it's going to be much more of the running gun. They have 2 guns to use now. That AK is still alive on Freiburg. They hand it over to him. Get Right has the HP to get that UMP, and then 2 pistols to back them up. The only issue here, no nades. And so Device misses an easy shot for him. He should have definitely been able to have that. He's going to be counting on his teammates to keep him alive. Xyp9x is baiting him right now. The Device gets the headshot on Freiburg as they try and push onto the site, and so far so good. He's still here, and there's Xyp9x to save him. Perfect play from Astralis. They give NIP nothing to work with. And you could really feel the lack of grenades there for NIP. If they had like one single Molotov, an HE, anything, right, to force Device out into the open, but only having the pistols and the AK, it just doesn't work out for him in the end.
Yeah, it's really tough, but good patience and good just discipline on Device to not go and repeat that. We'll just allow Kjaerbye to do his job over on that side. It will be 5th round coming up here in NIP, because you just pointed out, it was only the half buy. They can go for it once again, and they're going to lose Get Right away, and taken down by dupreeh.
That's a big kill. And Device there to watch towards Pit as well. Forrest missed the shot. There was a chance for NIP to get the man advantage, or at least bring it back to a 4-on-4. But it doesn't happen, and now Astralis are going to start falling back onto the site. Once again, we're seeing very little presence from Astralis in apartments early on. Like, Device he ventures for a little peek in there, but it looks like he's going to change it up and hold the angle. Exactly. So he's waiting for somebody to come around that corner. Pyth and Forrest about to oblige. There it is, the headshot.
What a peek from Pyth. That was perfect. He even over-peeked the angle in case Device was holding close to the left-hand side there. Wanted to make sure he didn't immediately go down. Xyp falls back, and Glaive tries to take over the same position, and that's going to cost Freiburg his life. 3 versus 4. Can be 1, but as they lose Exist 2, you have to wonder what the rest of NIP could do.
Man, they can't catch a break. That was through the smoke blind from Glaive. He was just putting shots out there, and he gets the headshot. And now dupreeh, they're pushing their advantage here. dupreeh going for the push into T mid. He's going to get picked off by Forrest, and so Forrest brings it back to a 1v3, but there's still a man alive here. And Kjaerbye holding the angle does not miss the shot. So little that Forrest can hope to do there in that situation. A 5-0 lead now for Astralis, and no bomb plants in these rounds here for NIP. So they have 2 players that could buy AKs, but it's going to be a bit light for the rest of them. So another half buy, I think, here for NIP.
5-0. Such a strong start for the Danish side, and NIP struggling to keep up at the moment. And what's even worse is that now this becomes the beginning, the foundation of an economy for Astralis. They can start to really put it together. Grenades going into middle of Banana. Not really any damage being up, but there's so many HEs and 3 people waiting up here. Xyp going to pick up the first couple of kills, and now the rest of NIP come charging in. Forrest, he got flashed, so he couldn't really follow it up, and there's the spray down from dupreeh. Eventually it's Xyp with the triple, but NIP ran into a pretty big stack there.
Easy work. Now, what I'm wondering, considering Device still has that AWP, right? He's been having it a lot over towards the A side of the map, right? Towards mid. He had that apartment peak in the last couple rounds where Pyth ripped his head off, right? When is he going to take it over to Banana? And sure enough, heading over towards B now. So Device showing us some versatility here. What I would have loved to have seen, though, is like the HEs going down mid here. They have HEs, they have 3 HEs on Astralis. We've seen how effective that can be with how little we've seen Inferno played so far this tournament. But a lot of teams on CT side, once they have those HEs, they're chucking them down mid, and the timing works out that if NiP are playing aggressive, boom, they're taking shrapnel to the face.
I'm getting worried for NIP. One of the most common plays on this map, if you're on the T side, is getting the mid control, forcing people back to sort of, you know, further back arch and all the way into pit and A bomb side. Once you've got that mid control on the T side, it opens up so many avenues. You can do some really great fakes, or even just some standard good executes towards the A bomb side. And it feels like NIP are not even managing to get that part of it down. They're getting banana control. That's all right, but I want to see something as similar as a mid take here.
Well, friberg, it's not like he has to wait and see if he's going to actually go for the kind of top banana control, right? With this wall here now, it's very difficult actually to catch anybody. You need to commit some grenades to it. You're going to need some help from a teammate, I think. Because in the meantime, NIP are working their way over towards A and Astralis. This is perfect for them. They've cheated an extra player over here. 45 seconds left in this round. 4 players on A. If NiP fully commit, it's going to be brutal for him. And there's the peak for info from Dupree.
Flashbang in, he sees them. 35 seconds on the clock. They can just wait now. They know that NIP are going to be in a lot of trouble just because of how much little time is left. Glaive, almost impossibly, he makes it out of the corner while his feet are on fire. And he's going to be falling way back into CT spawn. They are getting this mid control, but it's so late in the round, it might not work anyway. 20 seconds left. They get the kill on Glaive, and up on the box, Dupree sprays one, gets a second, turns around, and is ready for the balcony, but he can't get the third kill in. And now NIP, the best chance they've had yet in this first half. Sipnix and Device are left, and they should not be allowed to get in and retake this site.
So fun to see these old angles getting sprayed once again. Players, they've still got it, it's hardwired into them at this point, but they're going to have to learn some new tricks here if they want to pull this off. NIP with a classic long push, and it works perfectly for them. Now the bomb plant is here, man advantage for NiP. They've got the post-plant situation sorted. Easy now for NiP to hold this. So Astralis now, because they're not getting a peek here from NiP, they're not getting an early kill, it's starting to get close to that time where they're just going to back off and save these guns. They don't have a fantastic economy
no,
to fall back with.
In fact, 2 of their players wouldn't be able to buy unless they save these rifles, so exactly saving 2 rifles is important. If Sip somehow got caught here, that would be a problem for them in the upcoming round, but that won't happen. NIP gonna finally pick up a round here in the first half, making it 1-6. Still heavy favorites for Astralis, but you've got to appreciate the fact that they managed to make that wrap work. Going back towards Arch, coming in as well for quad, and sandwiching the bomb side.
It was just so, I mean, they waited just long enough. It's a question, I mean, it's tough for Glaive at that point because if you still haven't seen them commit, or you haven't had any information as far as bomb or anything like that, you want to keep the 4 players on A, but then you're just going to start thinking, well, it might be B. So they rotate that extra man that they had back to B, and NiP choose the perfect time to hit. And so for most of that round, Astralis had a distinct advantage there if NiP were going A. They just happened to throw it away at the last second. So we'll see if Astralis are brave enough to hold it this time. friberg!
Woo, the king of banana taking down Device right away. That's one hell of a good shot to get started with, and with so much time on the clock, it really gives them a lot of options. A real question is, will Astralis try and find a way to revenge this? Are they going to take a risk to get it back to a 4-on-4? Or will they just do the default? I hate this. All the way back from the old version. If you're in a 4v5 like this, if you make it sort of 2B, 2A, I think that's a very good way to lose the round, just because it's so unlikely you're going to be able to defend 2 versus 5. But here we go.
Or if you come up with something clever like this, Sipnix can make the difference here. He's going to be looking right over it, mowing down 2 players, and no answer from NiP. He's even going to get a third through the smoke. Just like that. Some clever work.
And they're going to go for the reboost. Sip getting the 4th kill in. Goes for the spray, and there's the ace. Every single one. How could NIP not know about that position? I think in the first 3 minutes that this map was out, it was already discovered that you could do this boost to look over the smoke. I'm really shocked that NIP did not realize that.
Well, finally we have another ace here. It's been really light on the aces so far this tournament. Nico and Simple are the only 2 to have really picked up an ace. Sipnix joins that illustrious group. Well done. And well, that's just going to be heartbreaking for NIP. And now they go for the 4 Sanders. They're starting to feel the pressure here, NiP. They realize, wait, we need to do some damage. We need to get something going for ourselves here because we really needed to put 2 rounds together to put Astralis under pressure and to open up the game for ourselves. Now it's time to take a risk. And NiP are going back to A. They've had success so far over here on this bomb site. It's time to try and make it work again.
Oh man, that's really a bit sloppy for NIP in the last round. They're going to try again to get out of the balcony to flash in, but you see this time, Dupree turns around. He'll eat the follow-up one, though. Kirby gets one in the pit, and Device follows up, taking down Pith. So this is looking very good for Astralis. They are in a 3-on-3, but they've got a pretty big health advantage, so they should be able to hold on and go and reclaim the bomb site. If the bomb ever goes down, it's in pit right now.
Yeah, he just got out, and he dodges the bullets as well. Freiburg's so low on HP. There were some shots put through the smoke there. Everybody is hurt on NIP's side. This should work out for Astralis. They have a glaive on kit as well, so no real reason to rush it too much. Take your time, clear the angles.
Combined 29 health right now on NIP. They shouldn't be winning this. The Molotov, that's probably going to take care of Get Right. It doesn't tag him yet, but the headshot most certainly will. A bit overkill. Bomb is ticking quite far now. Freiburg comes in, takes one with the spray, and is hiding in the smoke, but not for too much longer. Diffuse has been started there, and Astralis going to be able to win the round. 8-1. NIP bringing it kind of close with that balcony rush.
And they had the setup to counter it as well. Just the timing didn't work for the man holding in Graveyard. I believe that was Dupree. But much better work coming in from Kirby this time around. Between the two, that duo right now on A, it seems like they're just kind of working out the kinks, you know, on timing on how to actually hold it. They all get their kills, and well, Nip, they don't really get too much out of that. What they have guaranteed for themselves here is a buy in the next round, though, because they get that bonus 800, and it's not done yet here if you're NIP. The only real issue is that we haven't really seen enough Inferno played on a pro level, so it's just like, how many rounds are Nip going to be looking for here in the first half to start feeling comfortable with the result when they go into CT? You hear a lot of pros talking about it where it's like, oh man, Inferno feels really T-sided right now. And you're staring down the barrel of an 8-1 scoreline with Astralis way in the lead.
I think what really erodes their confidence is the fact that they've had so many rounds that were close that they just could not win. So if you get that early on in the first map here, you really start to doubt whether or not it's just not meant to be. Kjerby will get the first kill on Get Right. Freiburg trying for some action.
That's got to be the way he got Device. Because I was wondering, like, how did he kill Device in the round before?
Oh, going for it here. Device somehow picks up the kill on Pith as well. I have no idea how that works out. Freiburg will get one shot in, but the bomb is on the other side of the map, so this is more just for show at this point.
Yeah, they tried to make the play through the smoke. It didn't work out, and so now it's Freiburg hoping that somebody was lazy enough to stay maybe napping on the B site, you know, taking his time. Down to 27 HP, gets the tag on Glaive. One more, and there we go. The headshot from Freiburg, making this a very expensive round now for Astralis. Doesn't expect Dupree and Banana when he wraps back, so unfortunately for him, that's all he's going to get, but that's fantastic damage. That's really going to put a dent in Astralis' economy.
I would love, again, I'd love to see the actual mid-take. Yeah, there's the shot. It's so ridiculous.
That's obscene. And it was a jump shot. That's unreal. How?
Even in Vegas, that should be illegal.
Look at that cold and the little grid.
Jesus.
All right.
11th round. NIP very far behind at the moment. This is turning into, maybe predictably so, but still a fairly brutal game. Astralis, as Duncan was pointing out, the best team in the world right now, and they're showing exactly why.
Man, we're going back to like old style of controlling Banana now, before teams really figured out how to get that smoke down at the bottom of Banana. You know, you used to have to commit quite a few incendiaries to be able to clear it out so that you could then exactly make this kind of play, start pushing in, start getting control of bottom Banana on the CT side. Yeah, but Astralis have figured out how to get those incendiaries down very quickly here.
The difference is that smoke that the Glaive is looking right into, you used to be able to throw that from CT spawn, and that can't be done anymore, not in the same way. So, yeah, something has definitely changed over at Banana in that sense. Glaive is holding with just Sip behind him here. NIP, very little map control for them yet.
This is definitely feeling like it's time to shift up for NIP, though. 50 seconds left, and Forrest is leading that bomb into Banana. 4 players here about to go for NIP. Exist, causing a distraction over here in mid. This is Nip. Time to change it up. They have all the nades necessary. They even have an incendiary on Pyth, and so hiding behind new boxes like this, the position that Xyp9x is in becomes fairly vulnerable.
Now, have they learned that position, or are they going to fall to it again? Glaive will pick up the first kill on Get Right, and 25 seconds, they have to run in. They can't go back to B now. The jump is in. Freiburg still goes down. Now, a Sip on the other side, hiding behind new box. He's so low on health, and so is Glaive. This can still be won by NIP. They just need to land the bullets. Headshot on Xyp9x, and Glaive has to fall back, but Device shows up right through the smoke, taking down Exist. And Python Forest here. Can they get it? 8 seconds left. They gotta go for the plant. There's no one there to interrupt them just yet, so at least they'll succeed, but they need to win this. Oh my lord! Pyth, what are you doing? Taking down Glaive and Device and making it look easy from a 2v4 into a 2-on-2. And now Astralis have got to be sweating what just hit them. They're trying to see if they can get back in, but Pyth, he is charged here behind the new box. The bomb ticking in front. Forrest with another headshot, leaving Kirby down in a 1-on-2, and Pyth is going to go for it. He gets the triple. All of them headshots. Counter-Strike artwork here coming in from Pyth.
Perfect work from Pyth, and then that position is so incredibly powerful if you don't have Molotovs to hold from. It's the exact same situation as it was in the past on this bomb site with the combination of new boxes and shadow corner. If you just sit there, look at how Pyth, he's just constantly jiggle peeking. He's never really committing to a fight. He's just trying to stay alive. That's the perfect after plant situation play there from Nip. That's how you do it. Textbook stuff. And the shot from Device, but he's not going to get it. Astralis have fully committed to this round, though. This is all of their money spent. And Xyp9x actually has to go with the 5-7. Ooh. Oh, there, Freiberg. Get a taste of your own medicine.
Yeah, Glaive answering back. Yeah, you're right. All of the money has been spent. This is very interesting because this is what can give NIP a chance to actually get rounds in the first half here. 2 is obviously nowhere near enough, but winning this one could bring them to 4 fairly quickly. There's a nice headshot again. Freiberg is a reason he has that status as the king of banana, but he's going to go down to Glaive, so maybe a bit overzealous. And look at this is the setup that I much prefer right now from the NIP side, also from the Astralis side. They get 3 on A and 1 on B, and because they've got the forward position on Glaive, they know they can do this.
Kind of surprised to see dupreeh fall back like that, though. You don't have the old, well, truck basically to work with there, those angles that you could look to short from the front of pit. You can't get that anymore, but dupreeh with the UMP, kind of would rather see him at the top of balcony to put up a fight point blank. Instead, it's going to be Xyp9x over here by Arch with that 5-7. And he wants to be up close. He wants close quarters combat here so he can get that headshot and maybe pick up an AK to work with.
So are they going to expect this? Look at the clock again. 25 seconds here. NIP trying to check all the corners using the Molotovs, but now it's commitment time. Kirby hiding out here, wants to make sure they can get the crossfire from Pit as well. 17 seconds, he's going to pick up the kill. The rest have got their backs turned. Kirby gets 2 and Xyp picks up 1. And now it's all on Get Right long range spray, but it's not quite enough. Even Xyp with the pistol gets the double kill. And Astralis, if there were any dream, any hopes left for NIP here to have a good first half, I think they just got taken away.
Snuffed, Anders. NIP are having a real difficult time when it comes to starting off in best-of-3 series so far. The best-of-3 yesterday versus Cloud9 was not pretty at the beginning. They basically got beat up 16-6. Well, no, 16-2 on Cobble to start. Like, Nip just sitting at 2 rounds here. It's a little nerve-wracking for him.
Look at Astralis. They don't even care anymore. They win the round, they buy 4 UMPs and an M4. They know that they're not going to have any armor, so they've done the math. They've managed to figure that much out. This could be, yeah, this could be another sort of 13 type 2 type scoreline here in favor of Astralis.
Absolutely. And now Kirby is holding aggressive on balcony.
They are setting up for it. If they could get the first kill here on Kirby, if that happens, maybe there's a chance that the A-bomb site will go down fairly quickly. Now, actually, just as I say that, Device is rotated back onto the site. He was a bit absent. Freiberg, he gets the damage in, but not enough for the kill. Xyp keeps spraying. Nearly gets a big double there. Pyth goes down. So does Exist, and no chance at all in that round. 11-2. Astralis don't even lose a single player. We've got to point this out as well, and it's timely. The panel were just talking about how Xyp had the sort of return after they sort of threatened to cut him from the roster if he didn't improve. Right now, he's at 17-2-4 as a scoreline, so pretty good ratio on him, and maybe one of the reasons why Astralis is doing so well at the moment.
Absolutely. Xyp9x is, I mean, he's worth his weight in gold, as far as I'm concerned. He's definitely one of the better players on Astralis. And yeah, right, I mean, he did have he was struggling when they were about to cut him, but the double spray from Forrest to open up B site already? Forrest just catching him off guard, and now he's going to get into construction. This is going to be so difficult for Astralis to work their way back in here. And really, just Astralis should be sitting and waiting to see if they can't get any exit kills at this point, because going into a 3-on-5 retake on the B site, it's not likely. Don't even commit the nades.
You know, it isn't worth it. Again, their money is not exactly great. 3 of them could rebuy, but 2 of them definitely cannot. So better just save. Make sure you get the 12th round in next time here. Maybe one last hurrah for NIP here in the first half. A chance that if they get 11-4 and win the pistol, we could at least have a game on our hands, I think.
It can definitely change it. And you can never really count Nip out. Even now when they're struggling so much, they still have that quality where they never give up, basically. They're always fighting until the bitter end. Players like GetRight, like Forrest, there's too much experience in this roster. So Device, he's been spotted in Library, but he's got the UMP, so it's not the end of the world here if he gets caught. It's the two M4s that you need to save at all costs for Astralis, and it looks like everybody will survive. I mean, Nip don't want to be sacrificing rifles themselves either going into the last round, and so gentleman's agreement, back off, save the guns, and focus on the 15th round. 11-3 now. Yeah, and this is just timing. This to me is just Zipnik's, you know, the B defense for Astralis, not quite figuring out where Forrest can be. And so they take a risk right with the HEs, but it's just figuring out the timing here. You need more work to get that down. And Forrest, he hits it perfectly there.
Last round of the half coming in.
Not a single time have we seen HEs thrown down mid, though, for Astralis, which is interesting. I mean, those are so effective, and Nip are constantly pushing mid, second mid, so I think you could get something out of it, but we're just not seeing it from them.
Ooh,
clever.
Flashbang, yeah. Just up on the chimney. Gonna try and see if they can make their way out. Kirby goes down after a quick trade there. And now all the smoke's up. Look at this. And Device can't really see anything. Dupree trying to see if he can maybe get a grenade down into pit. Device goes down, but Sip is right there. They've rotated in from Banana. Such a quick rotation coming in here from the Danish side. Sip picking up another 2 kills, leaving Exist 1 versus 3. They had the site, they had everything going for them. And then they get flanked almost too quick for them to even realize. Now it's on Exist here. 1 on 3, no bomb plant, and they know exactly where he is. This is almost unwinnable once again for him.
I love the lack of hesitation shown by Astralis with how quick that rotation comes through. Dupree, there's nothing really Exist can hope to do at that point. He had no idea that Dupree was in that angle, and so it's a 12-3 scoreline going into the second half here. Astralis way in the lead. That's the kind of call that Glaive now, and that he's capable of making with his team. And you're always going to remember the 29th round versus VP where they rush A on train to win the major. I mean, that's the kind of call that Glaive can make, and the team will react instantly. They'll follow him. It's been a massive change on Astralis ever since Glaive came in to replace Kerrigan.
But we were discussing earlier in this half about the difference between holding top and bottom Banana, and this is one of the big reasons why you want to hold bottom Banana, is as soon as you get the call from your teammates in A that, oh, they're wrapping around, you're instantly there, right behind them. You saw the damage to NIP. They just had no idea what was going on. So, yeah, that's a good sort of way to illustrate the tactical difference between those two positions once you're on the CT side. It's very curious as well that we just I think we didn't see enough basic stuff out of NIP. Again, the mid control, the pushing Astralis back and making sure that they can get that mid control and maybe try and get onto the A-bomb side. I don't think there was quite enough of that here.
There was a lot of executes from NIP. It seems like, okay, they had time to practice a little bit on Inferno, so they tried to iron out a few strats that they could fall back on. But Astralis is just too effective right now. They're hitting their shots, and that's a real problem. Let's see if it's going to change up here in the second half. 12-3 for Astralis, now on the T side. And right straight up the second mid. There is a big gap, however. If Dupree gets too aggressive, nobody's going to be there to trade with him.
Oh, look at Forrest. He's infiltrated the lineup. GetRun actually gets the kill. Forrest patiently waiting. Got to be careful no one walks in from second mid. He's going to check all of the angles now. He might be going a level too deep with this. I'm glad he's going to walk out Banana again, and there's the kill on Kirby. 5 versus 3. NIP, surely this is the round that they can finally win. Exist, no reason to overcommit to this. Just everyone fall back and play it safe. Although Sip has somehow managed to sneak his way onto the A-bomb side. This is just a spy round at the moment. Device goes down to Pyth, so even better for NIP. 2 versus 5. They should not be able to hold on to this bomb side. Not even a little bit. Sip and Dupree both pick up a couple of headshots. Sip going to be going down, and now Dupree with another flank, another long mission coming in. But because the bomb is in the corner, he can't really do anything. And it is going to be NIP picking up the pistol second half here, 4-12.
A key round picked up for NIP if they wanted to have any kind of chance. Both teams winning the CT pistol here on Inferno. And so that breaks the streak. I mean, already we broke the streak. Astralis were 0-4 on pistols coming into this match. They've managed to get at least one pistol going for them. But NIP have been very effective with pistols so far this tournament, and they just continue to show us what they're capable of here. I mean, when you have the likes of Forrest and that aggressive mid push, you do kind of expect NIP to be able to do some damage, and NIP are the ones going for the HE to bottom mid, and there you go. Zipnik gets his bells rung, down to 70 HP without having seen anybody.
The bomb plant obviously in the pistol, so no armor except for on Dupree. Oh, there's a beautiful headshot taking out GetRight. NIP, they must hold on to this round.
Not like this. I mean, you've got the flash. You've got the flash on Glaive. He'll be setting that up. Zipnix is still holding in mid right now, but the rest of Astralis are all gathered up in Banana. There's the single flash, and so it's a question of whether Glaive wants to throw it over the roof, try and blanket, just canvas that B site. Or is it indecision time for Astralis? They're rotating back.
They are going really far back. It's going to take them a while because they have to obviously check apartments if they want to go on that side. They've got a minute left on the clock, so it could work out. As long as Freiburg stays alive, the A defense here is quite good, and Astralis really should not be able to make their way through. Freiburg a bit out in the open, that's very dangerous. He hears them running around out there still, so but look at the A side, down in pit as well. This is so good right now for NIP. They haven't taken the bait just yet.
No, and they're fully committing to this. NIP, they're saying, right, we're going to have to trust in our retake if they do go B. We'll trust in Freiburg to at least trade 1-for-1 as well. We know that this is an eco round coming in from Astralis, and so they've got 3 players on A. Glaive right now is banking on Nip having gone for a 2-2 setup, right? Rotating an extra man over towards B side. Kjærby on a mission, though. He might catch Freiburg completely unawares over on B. This might be a free kill, but there's not enough time for Astralis to rotate over here. Easily done here for Kjærby, but they aren't going to be able to take advantage of it. It is still the push for on A.
Yeah, but they're all rotating out of their positions as the push comes in. That's horrible. Pyth going to be going down. Exist the last one left, 4 seconds. He just has to stay alive. They can't put the bomb down, and that's going to be it. Exist surviving on 6 health. They couldn't catch him in time. It's not that Freiburg loses the B bomb site, it's that they all rotate out of those positions. The second he goes down, they all think, oh wait, the bomb must be here, let's all run, and they almost lose the round because of it.
17 seconds, I think, 16, 17 seconds were left. Yeah. Basically, when that push begins, they just had so little room for error there, Astralis. That means that they basically had, what, 12 seconds to get onto that site and start the bomb plant.
Yeah.
They just didn't have it.
It's about 15 seconds to run from sort of mid to into the B bomb site. So if you're up in apartments, that's way longer. You need a good 25 seconds to make that run work. So, and I think NIP must know that timing by heart. It hasn't. I think it's changed by 2 seconds since the last update or since the previous version of the map. So you can still rely on that pretty much. Man. Astralis, that was just a round where they had pistols as well, and it very nearly worked out. Now, they've got a lot more to work with.
They have no bomb plant, though, so they're light on the nades, which is frustrating for them, for sure. 2 players surviving as well, but Kjærby saved an M4, and so he has that smoke M4 to work with. You can see Device with an M4 as well. Good saves, actually, for Astralis from that last round. That's really, they're stretching that as best they can. 3 smokes left here for Astralis, though. One of them gets committed to block off Arch. 2 players there for NIP as well. But it's looking like it's going to be towards B that we're going to see some action here.
Flashes in. They're going to go check the corner. Get right. Very well done. Puts out a smoke, but has the wrong rifle out when they come around the corner. Freiburg now falling back with 16 health, and somehow Astralis still find a way through in spite of what should have been a big opening if we're NIP. And now another classic Dupree sneaking on and hiding in that corner, the close corner as they come in through CT spawn. Very tricky if NIP don't check it. Piff will check it, but he still goes down. And now the spray continues, buying so much time. Freiburg comes out of construction, and that's a bit of a save there. 3-on-3 for the retake.
But they have no nades. They have no nades to get them out of the back corner here. So Device position now becomes so powerful. And they've got the crossfire blocking off CT. It looks like 2 players moving through construction now for NIP. However, they're trying to get that buddy system going. Exist will try to get the info as well. He's going to get spotted out here by Device in a moment. The Device, careful, don't shoot your teammate. Forrest picks up 1 kill. That's just not going to be good enough. Astralis with the superior positioning make it work. And 13-5 now for Astralis. And this happens so early on for NIP. This is a disaster as far as the money is concerned for them. Double eco scenario now for NIP, and naturally it's going to be a force buy. They can't let Astralis get up to 14 rounds for free. There's the timeout as well from NIP. So 1 2-minute timeout they're allowed to have per map, each team. And so NIP elect to use it now, and I mean, I guess you have to.
The missed communication and the missed timing between Get Right and Freiburg over at the B bomb site really cost them badly, because obviously it's great that they go for that kind of a peak and they catch the early Astralis player, but after that he should have some backup. They should be able to stop Astralis coming around the corner. Freiburg was pretty far back, and obviously Get Right was trying to re-smoke the top of Banana there, but that's a tough way to lose a round. 13-5. If they had the economy, if NIP was sitting on a massive bank and they could buy auto snipers and AWPs and all the grenades they'd want, it would be at least possible to entertain the idea that they could make the comeback. But because they have no money, as you said, they're forcing into this round, it's very hard to see how they can make this work. Astralis, just a powerful team. Even in this remade version of Inferno, obviously they were good in the older version. No way to know that they would be good on this one, but they are.
Both of these teams you kind of expect to be, at least to have the fundamentals of the map down at least. And then it comes down to adjusting to the new details, right? And okay, how do you actually use this new banana that's pretty, I mean, there are still the choke points. That wall at the top of banana, you know, creates quite a choke that you have to work around. How do you approach that? You know, it's going to be refining new details. But the actual basic fundamental strats that you can use on this map, they carry over. I just think right now we're just seeing a big difference between a strong start for Astralis with some clever positioning. The boosts on B, Nip got slapped around. They lacked confidence after that, and Astralis just never let up. Nip were never really able to get into the game after that.
The timeout is about to run out here. And IP, this is it's only going to get worse from here on out, because I believe the second map is Mirage. So
we haven't seen Nip play Mirage yet this tournament, so.
No, and as Duncan was pointing out, they tend to ban it. That has been their go-to. This time they banned Overpass instead, and that allowed Astralis to say, yoink. In that case, we're going to pick that one up.
I mean, that's the power of Astralis. That's what, I mean, not only do they have the firepower, they're able to hit the shots, their map pool is so deep. It's like, you ban Overpass? Ah, that's fine. I mean, do you want to play Astralis on Overpass? Not really. So, I mean, where do you go? Where do you take the fight? This is why we're on Inferno here. Nip needed to take a risk, and it's not paying off for them right now at all. They've got a pistol force going here. They've spent everything they've got, but that's just 5.7 CZ, a P250 on Exist. At least they have a kit on Get Right, but they're very limited right now in what they have to work with here, Nip.
There's a stack going on at the B-bomb site. Let's see what Astralis end up doing. They can spend a long time at the beginning here just feeling things out. They're not seeing anyone on top bananas, so eventually they're gonna move further up and see if they can maybe have a guess at how many people are on this side. Oh, and you can see Freiburg setting up for the pop flash. The smoke is in. Now they're gonna come running through, and it works on Dupree. Next in line, right around the corner. The rest of Astralis waiting with the bomb. That's a big problem if they lose that, but NIP have slowed down the aggression, and that's gonna buy time for NIP to fall back and save the rest of the team there.
Yeah, they don't actually overcommit Astralis. You sack the one player. Forrest taking down Zipnix, however, on the lurk. That's a big blow dealt to Astralis now. 2 AKs picked up for NIP, and the defense remaining sound here. Now it's Astralis, who have used quite a few of their grenades, setting up the pressure towards B. They're down to 2 smokes left, and 40 seconds left in this round as well.
These 2 smokes could be the big difference. Certainly if they go for the B push, the one in CT spawn, the one for Coffins help them out a lot if they want to do it. 29 seconds, and looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. So on that site, none of those 2 players I expect are going to be smoked off, and especially Freiburg, as you can tell. What a great setup this is. Everyone's eyes are going to be on Get Right. As long as he doesn't go down at the first shot, Freiburg should have a pretty clear angle on the first player around the corner. And there it is, Freiburg getting the instant headshot now, trying to follow it up and rotating in as well. Exist, he goes down immediately, but only 7 seconds left. Astralis out of time, and that's going to be NIP with a force to try and stay in this map. 6-13 here is going to be the score. Sorry, 5-13, or 6-13, sorry. Going to be the scoreline. 23 kills on Exist as well. That's what? Out of control.
On Zipnix.
Oh, Zipnix, sorry, yeah.
Exist is sitting at 9 kills. Actually, I mean, it's very even across the board right now for NIP. You know, yesterday it was a little bit more top-heavy. Seemed a lot like Get Right was coming back into form. Forrest and Pyth were doing work, and Freiburg and Exist not so much. Here in this map, to start things off in the quarters, it's just double digits, but low. 10 kills, 11 kills. That's Forrest with 11. He's leading the way. Otherwise, it's Exist with 9. That's the difference between top and bottom right now on the scoreboard for NIP.
I think that's a good sign, actually. Forrest hears the step coming in and doesn't want to get run down by any kind of Tech-9 or anything else. 3 of them in play right now for the Astralis side. They've dropped a bomb pretty far back. I guess they could try and get a pick off. I would prefer it if it was one of the Tech-9s that just was flashed in, you know, set up, turn your back and run around a corner. That's another sort of classic play on Inferno.
We'll get the incendiary into sandbags. I like that. That's, I mean, if you have the nades, that's how you use them. It'll allow you to get control of top banana, and then you can start setting up for the B site. Unfortunately, the timing is horrendous. The Molotov goes down, looking to hold the angle on the house instead. Well, Astralis do have that map control now to fall back on, and it looks like it is going to be another B hit for Astralis. 50 seconds left here, and Nip already rotating Get Right back over here to support Freiburg. I like it.
Yeah, but they have almost no grenades. They don't have Molotovs or anything else that can buy time, so once the smokes are in, the crossfire is going to be broken, and Astralis are going to have a very good shot at getting onto this bomb site. There is a quick rotate coming in from Exist. He's going to be there faster than they might expect, but Freiburg needs to hit a kill. Get Right picks up one on Glaive, but he's going to go down to Sip, and now it's all on Freiburg. Has to stay alive, but he cannot for very long. Device will be dropping him 4 versus 3. A great execute here for Astralis.
Yeah, perfectly timed. And nobody really able to get too much out of it on NIP's side. Now Kirby holding aggressive in construction. Should be an easy kill for him here. Takes down Pyth, sets up the smoke, gonna buy even more time, and NIP need to back off and save the guns at this point. There's no use trying to take this fight. This heavily favors Astralis. They have all of the positioning. Exist will make it more expensive though. 1-2, but that's where it ends. Kirby there to trade it. And Astralis 14 rounds on the board now. And NIP right back in the doghouse. They have no money.
We talked about knowing the fundamentals, but the way that Get Right and Freiburg were set up in that B bomb site, it was always going to be the case that Get Right would be smoked off. And then you have to ask yourself, when Freiburg has no grenades to buy time, how is that going to work out in the long run? They could have, I think they could have taken a much more aggressive position so that the smokes would have at least landed behind them, and then they could have tried to win with the M4s. I think actually that was a positional mistake in that round for NIP.
It's actually what you see a lot of on A-side Cobble as well. That decision, right, where you're going to have that second player holding connector. How often does a smoke go down to block off connector, Anders, right? And then it's turning it into just a single player holding on the site. And that's exactly what we saw here with Freiburg. And so Forrest trying to peek for info, but Astralis have been very good about taking over apartments when they might want to make that A play. Dupree, 2 kills for him. And really, this still doesn't say a lot to Nip. They only got killed from Dupree, and then he didn't see anybody else. It is going to turn into the A hit, however. So they'll know soon enough.
Best of luck to Exist right now, who is trying to hold along with the C-set 75 against 5. Not every day that works out. Freiburg and Get Right are left, and obviously it's about to be 15 rounds here for Astralis. They are looking to sweep this map away from NIP, not even asking any questions along the way.
Tough. This is, I mean, to get beat up again on your map pick is not how you want to start a best of 3 versus the best team in the world. It's looking a little bit grim here for the Swedes. And, well, I mean, it's playing out kind of how we expected it, right? I mean, Astralis, they used to just run into Nip and get clotheslined. Tables have turned completely. Now it's Astralis that are just so fearsome. Freiburg not going to find the headshot. The Vice was quick enough to react. A full buy here for Astralis, and NIP, it's just going to be, I mean, they have to cross their fingers and hope that they can pull off another incredible eco win, because they don't have the money for anything more than a UMP on Forrest, and that just means he has no nades.
Things are not looking great at all. Our top fragger on NIP, well, there's 3 of them tied for 11, but the bottom fragger on Astralis is Glaive with 11. So that also says something. The sort of top and bottom on each team meet right there. Grenades down the middle, not really doing any damage this time around. NIP, again, I think believing in the comeback now, you'd have to be a die-hard NIP fan for that to work out. The NIP magic has been gone for a long time, it feels.
And NIP have changed how they're holding this time. It's a much more passive way of approaching it. Apart from the boost, that's really the only option that you have at that point if you're on CT side looking to try and challenge if the smoke is on top of, at the top of Banana, and so they're going to get punished for that. But over on A as well, a very passive hold from NIP, no presence in apartments, and that's what worked in the last time, where Forrest was able to pick up the kill and Exist, get that AK rolling, take out the flanker on Astralis. Instead it's Pyth, hoping for more than 1 headshot. It's not going to happen.
It's not a bad shot, but it won't do that much to save them in the round. Now, NIP trying for the boost of their own. Astralis, are they going to recognize it? Comes charging through. Very nearly could have picked up Dupree, who was trying to get that bomb down. Forrest and Exist, 2-1-3. Another very unlikely retake, especially with them actually rotating the bomb back to the A bomb site. So NIP, if they go and check this bomb site, then they might get shot in the back by Kirby. If they rotate back, then they're going to get clotheslined by Sip, who's holding in that ninja corner over by the archway. So this is Astralis making 100% sure they win this round.
Yeah, I kind of want, exactly, Kirby to rotate back over towards new boxes. He's going to get caught by Exist, however. That's big. But they realize very quickly, NIP, the bomb is not here.
With no kit, I mean, unless they can pick up a kit in transit, they won't have the time for the defuse. I mean,
Zip has the nades as well. So, I mean, he's got the angle on Arch. He can buy even more time with the smoke. And, well, there's the shoulder peek from Dupree. Catches Exist looking the wrong way. And this sets it all on Forrest. Now to clutch at 1v2. And, one tap from Zipnix. Scream, not here in person.
Oh my God. So there's outplayed, and then there's a round like this where you just end up trying to hold the B bomb site while the bomb is going down in A, and you realize way too late. 16-6, ladies and gentlemen, as the Astralis pick up the first map against NIP and look to try and make it into yet another semifinals here. Remember, as we've been pointing out, introducing this game, that NIP are the defending champions here at DreamHack Masters. Right now, it is looking like a really, really rough opponent. And as the panel we're talking about, the bracket right now for NIP means even if they defeat Astralis and make this 2-1 in their favor, they have to play Virtus Pro next. It's madness.
It's not pretty, Anders. It's whoever is going up against it. We're going to get. I think what's likely at this point, having predicted Astralis, obviously, is we are going to get a rematch of the grand finals of the last major in that semifinal, which will be insane. Astralis VP, let's go for days. But we have to see how it's going to pan out in the second map, and if NIP have got a surprise for us, because Mirage is next. It's Astralis' pick, but there's very little info to go off of regarding NIP and what their shape is on the map.
Yeah, this would be a nice time for them to have, you know, not just one ace, but a couple of them up their sleeve. You know, the pocket aces come out, and they've suddenly practiced it a lot. The threat is certainly capable of that kind of thing, but I sort of doubt it. I think this is going to be another really